book lovers, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be my fall book recommendations, so we're just gonna get right on into it. First, I'm gonna recommend you the one and only thriller on this list, and it is The Housemaid by Freida McFadden. I really want to get more into thrillers this year, but I read this last year and it was crazy. It basically follows this housemaid, and the family that she is working for has a lot going on, and the wife just keeps doing weird stuff to make her life hell, and she's just trying to figure out what's going on with this family and the husband and the wife and the kid and just get her check, baby. So yeah, if you're trying to get into thriller this year, I would definitely recommend starting off with a Freida McFadden book, and this one is The Housemaid's Secret. This is just the second book in the trilogy to the first one. Then I have The Naturals by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. This is actually a YA series. This is the first book in the series. I want to say this is like a suspense slash thriller mystery-esque book. I don't know what category this falls in, but it's basically teenagers and criminal minds mixed together. The kids in here are in a program and they all have a natural ability that's used for the FBI to solve unsolved cold cases. And yeah, I'm on the second book now, which is Killer Instinct, and it's just as good as the first one. So if you're trying to get more into thriller and you want to dip your toe, not thriller, I don't know what this would be classified in, but yeah, this book is really good for fall because it's very mysterious and very like looking over your shoulder. It's low-key scary because they be dealing with serial killers, and I'm just, it's a YA book, so I just be like low-key scared. Then I have The Night Circus by Erin Morgenstern. This is, I don't know if this would be considered literary fiction or fantasy, so take that as you will, but this is a really cozy book, y'all. This book follows two magicians, and they're basically fighting against each other to the death, and in the process of doing all that, they fall in love. And then all of that is going on with this night circus in the background. It pops up randomly in the middle of the night. It's this big circus that has a bunch of tents with all these different things in it. It's very whimsical, very magical, very cozy. So this book is a good one. And then if you're looking for just like a plain old literary fiction book, then Normal People by Sally Rooney is the one for you. This book is basically just like character driven. You're just following these two people. They start off in like the end of high school and it goes into college, and basically just their story, their friendship, their love story, and day-to-day life, and how different dynamics can change their relationship. If you're looking for something that's going to make you bawl your eyes out this fall, then If You Have Been With Me by Laura Nolan is the book for you. This book is very tragic. It starts off with a tragic event happening and it ends with the same tragic event happening, and you just get the story of beginning to end these two characters and how they were inseparable when they were little, and now they just are basically strangers, and then they become friends again. You know that song? What's that song by Adele that's like, I forgot how it goes. It's like friends to lovers and strangers again, strangers to friends, friends to lovers, strangers again. That's what this is. And if you want a book that's gonna make you giggle and kick your feet this fall, then you need to read Better Than the Movies by Lynn Painter. I've talked about this book in previous videos, but I just really enjoyed this book, and it made me feel like a little girl again in the best way possible. It's basically about this girl, and she's obsessed with rom-coms, and so you get a lot of rom-com in here, but she's basically trying to make her life a rom-com in real life. Like, she's trying to play out her life like a rom-com. So it's really fun, very free, very young energy in this book. Then I have Part of Your World by Abby Jimenez. Part of Your World is the first book in an interconnected series. It follows a carpenter and a doctor, and you know, they're just in two different fields in life, and they meet each other, they like each other, they want to be together, but their worlds just don't combine in a nice way. So they trying to be a part of each other's world, trying to be on their Little Mermaid-ish. So it's basically that, but like small town, real cute, cozy vibe. I would also like to recommend Yours Truly by Abby Jimenez. This is the second book in the Part of Your World trilogy, and this one follows two doctors, and they both have a lot going on in their lives, and they just connect in such a beautiful romantic way. So if you want a cute little romance that's just like warm and cozy and very romantic, then read this book. Then I have Love Theoretically by Ali Hazelwood. This book is really fun. It has two physicists in it, so it's like science and romance in one, but like give the fall vibes in there. It's very, very cute. very cutesy, very enemies to lovers-ish. So if you like that vibe, then read this book. Then I have Before I Let Go by Kennedy Ryan. I love this book so bad. This book follows a Black couple that were recently separated, and they're just trying to find their way, like, after a divorce. And they have 2 kids, so they're still trying to co-parent while also understanding themselves and healing from the trauma that they face in their relationship. Then I have Love in Other Words by Christina Lauren. Y'all, you can tell this book is giving fall just off the cover alone. Like, come on. Come on. It's very much so childhood friends to lovers, is second chance, and there's a lot of fall in this book. There's a lot of each season in this book, so you can really read this whenever, but it just gives very cozy book lover fall vibes. So if you want that vibe with some second chance romance, and eat this up. Then I have Before We Were Strangers by Renee Carlino. This book is set in the fall time in New York between 2 college students who become fast friends, and they fall out at the end of the year, and then 15 years later they run into each other. So it's another second chance, fall vibes, and yeah, the guy's just trying to figure out where this girl is and where he can find her because he missed her. Then I have The 7-Year Slip by Ashley Poston. This book is fall and whimsical fantasy vibes in a book. It's not a fantasy book. It's very much so like a romance, but with a sprinkle of just like, I don't even know, magical realism, I think is the correct phrase for this. But basically this girl is in her aunt's apartment, and it goes 7 years in the past, and she meets a guy in the apartment, and she's like, boy, what are you doing in here? And then they end up, you know, vibing real good. So then she tries to find him in her time, which is 7 years in the future. So yeah, very fun fall read if you're looking for a fun little romance. Then I have Clockwork Angel by Cassandra Clare. Honestly, would recommend you to read any of her books in the fall because they all just give fall vibes. Shadowhunters are meant to be read about in the fall time, in my personal opinion. But this one is her second series. It's the first book in the Infernal Devices trilogy, and it basically is about shadowhunters and magic. There's warlocks, there's witches, there's werewolves, vampires, shadowhunters, all in this book. And this one is set in 1800s London. So just think about all that, like an 1800s London fantasy book. This is that. Basically, Tessa travels to London to find her brother who has went missing, and she gets caught up and literally kidnapped and has to be rescued. So that's what this book is about. Then I have Heartless Hunter by Kristen Ciccarelli. This is a enemies to lovers witch hunter. Basically, this girl is a socialite by day and the Crimson Moth by night, where she goes and is rescuing these witches that they're trying to kill off, and the guy, Gideon, is a witch hunter. You know where that's going. So then I have the Prison Healer trilogy by Lynette Noni. The first book is The Prison Healer, and then we have The Gilded Cage and The Blood Trader. The first book is about a girl named Kaiva, and she is in the Zollendorf prison as the prison healer, and the Rebel Queen gets sent to this prison to go through the trials by ordeal, which will determine her fate. If she survives, then she gets to leave the prison, but if she don't, she, you know, obviously dies. And she is challenged with keeping the Rebel Queen alive long enough to go through the whole trials. Then I have Throne of Glass by Sarah J. Maas. Y'all, the fall time is the perfect time to get into the Throne of Glass series if you're looking to start it. It's the perfect time. Fall into winter, like, go ahead and start it now so that in the winter time you can finish it, and that's just like chef's kiss perfection. This book is a fantasy book. It's a YA. It follows a girl who was a slave in the salt mines, and she gets taken out of the salt mines by the prince of this kingdom to fight in the king's trials to see who's going to be his champion and his assassin. Then I have Powerless by Lauren Roberts. This is a YA fantasy book. It has enemies to lovers, it has magic, there's trials in here. So there's a lot of action and romance in this book, and there's a lot of different tropes in this book. So you'll get a little bit of everything in Powerless. And last but certainly not least, I have Divine Rivals by Rebecca Ross. This book is like a historical romance book with a sprinkle of fantasy. It has magical typewriters, and there's gods at war in this book and workplace rivals in this book. The writing is so beautiful in this book, and it just brings to life the romance in such a precious way. I would also like to talk about a book that I've only read the first in the series, but I want to continue reading the series this fall, and that is Harry Potter. It's the perfect cozy fall read. There's dark academia vibes in that book, and you have the fantasy and magic in there. So I'm excited to continue the series and see what the hype is about. And if you want to know the other books I have on my fall radar, then just let me know and I'll make a fall TBR video as well. But that's it for all the recommendations of books I've read in the past that I think would be perfect for fall. Let me know if you guys end up reading any of these or if you have read any of these, and let me know how you felt about the books. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching today's video, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.